Okay, we are now being live streamed.
Mhm.
So welcome everyone. Hi, my name is Paul Sugarman. This is the Instant Shakespeare Company. And today we are doing a celebration of the works of Anton Chekhov in honor of his birthday. This would be, actually January 29th on the old calendar, 1860 was when Chekhov was born. So this is the 163rd anniversary of his birth, approximately. And I just think it's that Chekhov is a wonderful, wonderful writer who's worth celebrating, who people just don't know as well. I mean, one of our family friends and my first acting teacher was Jerry Hyken, who was in many Chekhov plays, and including the very famous Actors Studio production of The Three Sisters, where he played Andre. And he really felt that it's like there's Shakespeare and there's Chekhov, and then everybody else, you know. And I tend to have a similar view. I mean, I just think they both have such a just wide view of humanity. Oh, my battery's low. And so I think that it's really great. And that one of the points that he used to make about Chekhov is that where there's been many successful Shakespeare movies, there haven't been that many successful movies from Chekhov. Actually, I think some of the more successful ones have been from his short stories rather than his plays. Because one of the things that Jerry Hyken talked about is that when you watch it on stage, it's not just the person talking, it's as people react to what's happening, you know, and that on film, you have to sort of make the focus of a person. And so that makes it a little more difficult to tell the sort of story of people that Chekhov's telling. So that's what I want to. And does anybody else have anything they'd like to share about Chekhov?
Yes, thank you so much, Paul. It strikes me in his 4 times 11-year journey to the planet Earth, what an absolutely singular impression he made that endures. Chekhov is always present. He is like music. He is pluperfect in the past, pluperfect in the present, and I dare say pluperfect in the future. And we may all be familiar with that expression, one door closes, another opens. How ironic that James Joyce's Ulysses, set on June 16th and 17th in 1904, less than a month later, Anton Chekhov transitioned. And analogous to Ulysses and all of the characters he created, as did James Joyce, much of what they don't say is what we hear. Chekhov's ability to intuit and translate the complexity of human relationship is bar none an exquisite masterpiece. I'd like to share a quick snippet of one scene from Three Sisters. The character is Irina. No, we've sent for her. If you only knew how difficult it is for me to live here by myself without Olia. She lives at the school now. She's the headmistress, and she's busy the whole day. And I am here alone, bored, with nothing to do. And I hate the very room I live in. So I've just made up my mind. If I'm really not going to be able to live in Moscow, that's that. It's my fate. That's all. Nothing can be done about it. It's God's will. Everything that happens. And that's the truth. Nikolai Lvovich proposed to me. Well, I thought it over and I made up my mind. He's such a nice man. It's a really extraordinary how nice he is. And then suddenly, I felt as though my soul had grown wings. I felt more cheerful and so relieved somehow that I wanted to work again, just to start work. Only something happened yesterday, and now I feel as though something mysterious is hanging over me. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Mr. Chekhov.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Francie, for sharing that. That's great. That is, he really, yeah. He just expresses so much so well that we can sympathize with, and that has so much resonance with life, with modern life, and our frustrations and all of that. Thanks. Does anybody else have anything sort of general they want to say about Chekhov, or?
Well, I've read a lot of his books, you know, things like The Ward. So it's not just plays that he has written. He has written all these, he was a doctor, and he wrote all these stories about where he witnessed some of the terrible conditions of ill people and poor people in hospitals and sanatoriums. And also I was reading, I was reading this too, The Duel, and other stories. So it's not, I mean, I love his plays, but also just to, I take it on the airplane just to read all the things he wrote. I mean, he's just an amazing writer, and his characters and all the women who, young women who fall in love and are so disappointed sometimes. It's so, I was reading The Duel, it was really interesting. That's what I have to add, that he's extended beyond the plays. You need to encompass it all. Okay, I said my piece.
Yes, thank you. That's, yeah, very true. And it's amazing, yeah, that he only lived to 44, and so many. I mean, 4 absolute masterpieces of plays, and I mean some other plays as well that I'm less familiar with, but also many one acts. So, but anyways, my battery's getting very low. So you guys may have to continue without me. If I drop off, I'll try and get back on. But if anybody got any other comments or general Chekhov comments? Okay, well then I think since you mentioned the short stories, it might be a good time to go to Asher's got a short story for us from Chekhov. So over to you, Asher.
Okay. Let me just pull it up here. Excuse me. Where am I? Oh, here we go. Oh, I went the wrong link. Hold on. I apologize. Just bear with me another moment. Come on. All right. This is a work of art, or objet d'art, by Anton Chekhov. Sasha Smirnov, the only son of his mother, holding under his arm something wrapped up in number 223 of the Financial News, assumed a sentimental expression and went into Dr. Koshelkov's consulting room. "Ah, dear lad," was how the doctor greeted him. "Well, how are we feeling? What good news have you for me?" Sasha blinked, laid his hand on his heart, and said in an agitated voice, "Mama sends her greetings to you, Ivan Nikolaevich, and told me to thank you. I am the only son of my mother, and you have saved my life. You have brought me through a dangerous illness, and we do not know how to thank you." "Nonsense, lad," said the doctor, highly delighted. "I only did what anyone else would have done in my place." "I am the only son of my mother. We are poor people and cannot, of course, repay you, and we are quite ashamed, doctor, although, however, Mamma and I, the only son of my mother, earnestly beg you to accept in token of our gratitude this object, an object of great value, an antique bronze, a rare work of art." "You shouldn't," said the doctor, frowning. "What's this for?" "No, please do not refuse," Sasha went on muttering as he unpacked the parcel. "You will wound Mamma and me by refusing. It's a fine thing, an antique bronze. It was left us by my deceased father, and we have kept it as a precious souvenir. My father used to buy antique bronzes and sell them to connoisseurs. Mamma and I keep on the business now." Sasha undid the object and put it solemnly on the table. It was a not very tall candelabra of old bronze and artistic workmanship. It consisted of a group. On the pedestal stood two female figures in the costume of Eve and in attitudes for the description of which I have neither the courage nor the fitting and temperament. The figures were smiling coquettishly, and altogether looked as though, had it not been for the necessity of supporting the candlestick, they would have skipped off the pedestal and have indulged in an orgy such as is improper for the reader even to imagine. Looking at the present, the doctor slowly scratched behind his ear, cleared his throat, and blew his nose irresolutely. "Yes, it certainly is a fine thing," he muttered. "But how shall I express it? It's not quite for family reading. It's not simply décolleté, but beyond anything—" "Oh, dash it all! How do you mean? The serpent tempter himself could not have invented anything worse. Why, to put such a phantasmagoria on the table would be defiling the whole flat." "What a strange way of looking at art, doctor," said Sasha, offended. "Why, it is an artistic thing. Look at it. There is so much beauty and elegance that it fills one's soul with a feeling of reverence and brings a lump into one's throat. When one sees anything so beautiful, one forgets everything earthly. Only look how much movement, what an atmosphere, what expression." "I understand all that very well, my dear boy," the doctor interposed. "But you know, I am a family man. My children run in here. Ladies come in." "Of course, if you look at it from the point of view of the crowd," said Sasha, "then this exquisitely artistic work may appear in a certain light. But, doctor, rise superior to the crowd, especially as you will wound Mamma and me by refusing it. I am the only son of my mother. You have saved my life. We are giving you the thing most precious to us, and I only regret that I have not the pair to present to you." "Thank you, my dear fellow. I am very grateful. Give my respects to your mother, but really consider my children run in here. Ladies come. However, let it remain. I see there's no arguing with you." "And there's nothing to argue about," said Sasha, relieved. "Put the candlestick here by this vase. What a pity we have not the pair to it. It is a pity. Well, goodbye, doctor." After Sasha's departure, the doctor looked for a long time at the candelabra, scratched behind his ear, and meditated. "It's a superb thing, there's no denying it," he thought, "and it would be a pity to throw it away. But it's impossible for me to keep it. Here's a problem. To whom can I make a present of it, or to what charity can I give it? After long meditation, he thought of his good friend, the lawyer Uhov, to whom he was indebted for the management of legal business. Excellent, the doctor decided. It would be awkward for him as a friend to take money from me, and it will be very suitable for me to present him with this. I will take him the devilish thing. Luckily, he is a bachelor and easygoing. Without further procrastination, the doctor put on his hat and coat, took the candelabra, and went off to Uhov's. How are you, friend? He said, finding the lawyer at home. I've come to see you to thank you for your efforts. You won't take money, so you must at least accept this thing here. See, my dear fellow, the thing is magnificent. On seeing the bronze, the lawyer was moved to indescribable delight. What a specimen, he chuckled. Deuce take it to think of them imagining such a thing, the devils. Exquisite, ravishing. Where did you get hold of such a delightful thing? After pouring out his ecstasies, the lawyer looked timidly towards the door and said, Only you must carry off your present, my boy. I can't take it. Why? Cried the doctor, disconcerted. Why? Because my mother is here at times, my clients. Besides, I should be ashamed for my servants to see it. Nonsense, nonsense. Don't you dare to refuse, said the doctor, gesticulating. It's piggish of you. It's a work of art. What movement, what expression. I won't even talk of it. You will offend me. If one could plaster it over or stick on fig leaves. But the doctor gesticulated more violently than before, and dashing out of the flat, went home glad that he had succeeded in getting the present off his hands. When he had gone away, the lawyer examined the candelabra, fingered it all over, and then, like the doctor, racked his brains over the question, what to do with the present. Thing, he mused, and it would be a pity to throw it away and improper to keep it. The very best thing would be to make a present of it to someone. I know what. I'll take it this evening to Shushkin, the comedian. The rascal is fond of such things, and by the way, it is his benefit tonight. No sooner said than done. In the evening, the candelabra, carefully wrapped up, was duly carried to Shushkin's. The whole evening, the comic actor's dressing room was besieged by men coming to admire the present. The dressing room was filled with the hum of enthusiasm and laughter like the neighing of horses. If one of the actresses approached the door and asked, May I come in? The comedian's husky voice was heard at once. No, no, my dear, I am not dressed. After the performance, the comedian shrugged his shoulders, flung up his hands, and said, Well, what am I to do with the horrid thing? Why, I live in a private flat. Actresses come and see me. It's not a photograph that you can put in a drawer. You had better sell it, sir, the hairdresser, who was disrobing the actor, advised him. There's an old woman living about here who buys antique bronzes. Go and inquire for Madame Smirnov. Everyone knows her. The actor followed his advice. 2 days later, the doctor was sitting in his consulting room and with his finger to his brow was meditating on the acids of the bile. All at once, the door opened and Sasha Smirnov flew into the room. He was smiling, beaming, and his whole figure was radiant with happiness. In his hands, he held something wrapped up in newspaper. Doctor, he began breathlessly, imagine my delight. Happily for you, we have succeeded in picking up the pair to your candelabra. Mamma is so happy. I am the only son of my mother. You saved my life. And Sasha, all of a tremor with gratitude, set the candelabra before the doctor. The doctor opened his mouth, tried to say something, but said nothing. He could not speak. That's it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I want to get to that candelabra before midnight. I hear there's a sale at a local eBay.
There you go. It's a fun piece, isn't it?
Yes, gorgeous.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing that. And yeah, I mean, that's always, I mean, Chekhov has these wonderful stories of humanity, and then these little twists, like some
You go.
days you just can't get rid of a pornographic piece of art.
Exactly. Exactly. All
But
right.
that's great. So Michael's here now, and let's see. So does anybody else have anything they want to share of Chekhov, a little individual piece, or should we get on to the wedding?
I have something, but I'd like to save it till later. I think we should do the wedding first.
Okay. All right. So what should we do? The wedding?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
Yes. Can we do a sound check? I just want to make sure. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, yes, I can.
Ken, you're a little shaky. I just want to let you know you might want to check your connection.
Oh, okay.
You sound a little shaken.
All right. Well, since we don't, why don't everybody, somebody's got just to introduce who you're going to be playing. And I think there's still the retired captain, which was supposed to be Steve Capra, who's not here. I'm sorry, Sue, who else are we missing? Let's see.
How do I pronounce my name, Paul?
How do you, let's see, where's the?
Zhigolov. Zhigolov.
Zhigolov.
Zhigolov.
Yes.
Zhigolov. Is that Russian
Zhigolov.
Yes.
or French? No.
Zhigolov. I mean, I
Zhigolov.
think it's a lot of times Evdokim Zakharovich.
I cannot even attempt a Russian accent, so I'm not going to try.
Yeah, no. It shouldn't be a Russian accent.
No,
because
no.
Translation.
God bless also Steven. Remember Steve Brown used to go crazy when we used to try to do British accents and French accents?
Well,
Yeah.
you know,
So
Paul,
please.
if anybody had been listening earlier today to the play-by-play of the women's final at the Australian Open, there was a lot of Russian in the air, and a Belarusian took it.
Yeah.
Cool. So,
I
So yeah, and one of the things also when you have difficulty with names, with pronunciation, when you have to do it, just sort of do it with confidence, even if you get it wrong. I mean, we could do a whole seminar sometime on how to pronounce Russian names properly, but let's get going with this.
Right.
Yeah, I have to leave at 10 to 3, so could we get going?
Yeah, all right. So let's get going. And I don't know, do you want to introduce people before we begin or just dive right in?
I dive.
Okay, let's dive in.
I think we should introduce ourselves.
All right.
Why? We already know who we are.
Well, we're doing this for
Uh,
we watch later.
they won't care.
Oh, yes. And so we'll have, this is, the play is The Wedding by Anton Chekhov. I'll just, rather than make everybody try and get through the names, let me just
Michael
do it,
Gardner.
just introduce everybody. Playing Evdokim Zakharovich Zhigolov, and then playing his wife, Natasha Timofeevna, is Eleanor.
Eleanor Elizabeth Foreman.
Okay, and Jennifer Finger.
Dashenka, their daughter.
Yep. And Ken is playing Epimund Maximovich Aplombov.
I believe it's Eponimond Maximovich Aplomov.
Oof.
Very
Yes.
good, Ken. Much better than me. And at some point, somebody will have to step in to do the retired captain, Fyodor Yakovlevich Revignorkov Garlov, and Andrei Andreevich Nunin is going to be Cynthia,
That's a great part.
and Anna Martinova Zemukaina is going to be
Jackie
Jackie.
Margolis.
And we also need somebody for Ivan Mihalovich Yats, the telegraphist, and Harlamapi Spiridonovich Dimba is Asher. And then we also have like a groomsman who has some lines, and Dmitry Stepanovich Mozgovy. So just, I guess.
I can
people
take the
jump in and
groomsman.
choose.
I don't think I have any conflicts with the groomsman. I can do the groomsman.
Okay. All righty. So here we are with the wedding.
Is there somebody that reads the stage directions? If not, I'll do it.
Oh.
Okay, a brilliantly illuminated room, a large table laid for supper. Waiters in dress jackets are fussing around the table. An orchestra behind the scene is playing the music of the last figure of a quadrille. Anna Martinova Zemeyekina is on stage. Yaks and a groomsman cross the stage. Okay, wherever Zemeyekina is. Anna, that's me. No, 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 no. No, no. Do we have a Yats?
Yes.
Well, someone says, have pity on us, have pity. No, 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 no. No,
You cannot go on like this. Where are you off to? What about the Grand Bond? Grand Bond is simple play.
no. Do we have a Natasha Timofeyevna and Abalova?
Nastasia Timofeyevna.
read.
That's me.
Nastasia, read.
You had much better be dancing than upsetting me with your speeches.
I'm not a Spinoza or anybody of that sort to go making figures of 8 with my legs. I am a serious man, and I have a character, and I see no amusement in empty pleasures. But it isn't just a matter of dances. You must excuse me, Mamma, but there is a good deal in your behavior which I am unable to understand. For instance, in addition to objects of domestic importance, you promised also to give me with your daughter 2 lottery tickets. Where are they?
My head's aching a little. I expect it's on account of the weather. If only it thawed.
Won't get out of it like that. I only found out today that those tickets are in pawn. You must excuse me, Mama, but it's only swindlers who behave like that. I'm not doing this out of egoisticism. I don't want your tickets, but on principle, and I don't allow myself to be done by anybody. I have made your daughter happy, and if you don't give me the tickets today, I'll make short work of her. I'm an honorable man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
A waiter, the cook asks if you would like the ices served with rum, Madeira, or by themselves.
With rum. And tell the manager that there's not enough wine. Tell him to prepare some more hot sauterne. You also promised and agreed that a general was to be here to supper. And where is he?
That isn't my fault, my dear.
Whose fault then?
It's Andrei Andreevich's fault. Yesterday he came to see us and promised to bring a perfectly real general. Oh, I suppose he couldn't find one anywhere, or he had brought him. You think we don't mind? We'd begrudge our child nothing. A general, of course.
But there's more. Everybody, including yourself, Mama, is aware of the fact that Yats, that telegraphist, was after Dashenka before I proposed to her. Why did you invite him? Surely you knew it would be unpleasant for me.
Oh, how can you? Epaminondas Maximovich was married himself only the other day, and you're already tired of me and Dashenka out. You've tired us out with your talk. What will you be like in a year's time? You're horrid, really horrid.
Then you don't like to hear the truth. Aha. Oh, then behave honorably. I only want you to do one thing. Be honorable.
Oh, couples dancing the grand rond come in at one door and out the other. There's a groomsman shouting, "Promenade, messieurs, promenade!
Promenade, messieurs! Promenade!
Oh, what a man. I've already told you that I've had no voice today.
Who's Yachts? Yachts, I implore you to sing just one note. Have pity, just one note.
I'm tired of you. I'm tired of you.
No, you're simply heartless to be so cruel, if I may express myself, and to have such a beautiful, beautiful voice, with such a voice, if you forgive my using the word. You shouldn't be a midwife, but sing at concerts, at public gatherings. For example, how divinely you do that fioritura, that I loved you, love was vain then.
I loved you and in love again. Is that it?
Ah, that is beautiful.
No. Twice today. Oh, there, wave this fan for me. It's hot. Oh, Epaminondas Maximovich, why are you so melancholy? A bridegroom shouldn't be. Are you so ashamed of yourself, you wretch? Well, what are you so thoughtful about?
Marriage is a serious step. Everything must be considered from all sides thoroughly.
Oh, what beastly skeptics you all are. I feel quite suffocated with you all around. Give me atmosphere. Do you hear? Give me atmosphere.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, fan me.
Beautiful.
Oh, or I feel I shall have a heart attack in a minute. Tell me, please, why do I feel so suffocated?
It's because you're sweating.
Oh, how vulgar you are. Don't dare to use such words.
Beg pardon. Of course, you're used, if I may say so, to aristocratic society and...
Oh, leave me alone. Give me poetry, delight. Oh, fan me. Oh, let's have another one. Oh, one can always drink. So long only. Hella lamprey, sprint.
Let's have another what? Let me do.
Drink and be happy. If you could drink somebody else's expense, why not drink? You can drink. You're healthy.
As one doesn't forget one's bigness. Drink and be merry. And if you can drink at somebody else's expense, then why not drink? You can drink. Health. And do you have tigers in Greece?
Yes.
And lions?
And lions too. In Russia, there's nothing, and in Greece, there's everything. My father and uncle and brothers, and here there's nothing.
And are there whales in Greece?
Yes, everything.
What are they all eating and drinking like that for? It's time for everybody to sit down to supper. Don't keep on shoving your fork into the lobsters. They're for the general. He may yet come.
And are there lobsters in Greece?
Yes, there is everything.
And civil servants? Civil servants?
Smeyukina, somebody?
Hello?
Oh, give me poetry. And the rebel seeks the storm, as if the storm can give
Where are you? Where are you?
Where are you? Page 54?
No, 53. And civil servants.
Wait, am I Zemyankina?
Yes.
All right, so I said, give me poetry.
No, can imagine what the atmosphere is like in Greece. Page 53. Where are you?
53, okay, what page? All right, who are you? You're Zhigalov?
Zhigalov. I asked him,
Okay.
I said, is that... Follow the script. Page 53.
And are there lobsters in Greece? Ask that and I'll follow
I
you.
asked that. Are there lobsters in Greece?
Yes, there is everything.
And civil servants.
I can imagine what the atmosphere is like in Greece.
There must be a lot of swindling. The Greeks are just like the Armenians or gypsies. They sell you a sponge or a goldfish, and all the time they are looking out for a chance of getting something extra out of you. Let's have another. What?
What do you want to go on having another for? It's time everybody sat down to supper. It's past 11.
If it's time, then it's time. Ladies and gentlemen, please. Supper. Young people. Young people.
Dear visitors, please be seated.
Oh, give me poetry. And he, the rebel, seeks the storm, as if the storm can give him peace. Give me the storm.
Oh, you say, oh, wonderful woman. I am in love up to my ears.
Enter various ladies and gentlemen. They all noisily seat themselves at the table. There is a minute pause while the band plays a march. Is there a Mozgoviev? Mozgoviev. Ladies and gentlemen, I must tell you this. We are going to have a great many toasts and speeches. Don't let's wait, but begin at once. Ladies and gentlemen, the newly married. The band plays a flourish, cheers, glasses are touched. Plummer and Dashenka kiss each other.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. I must say, ladies and gentlemen, giving honor where it is due, that this room and the accommodation generally are splendid. Excellent, wonderful. Only, you know, there's one thing we haven't got. Electric light, if I may say so. Into every country, electric light has already been introduced. Only Russia lags behind. Electricity? In my opinion, electric lighting is just a swindle. They put a live coal in and you think you don't see them. If you want a light, then you don't take a coal, but something real, something special that you can hold off. You must have a fire, you understand, which is natural, not just an invention. If you'd ever seen electric, Natalie, and how it's made up, you'd think differently. Don't want to see one. It's swindle, a fraud on the public. They want to squeeze our last breath out of us. You know, then, these young men, instead of defending a swindle, you would be very much better occupied if you had another yourself and poured out some for other people, yes?
I entirely agree with you, Papa. Why start a learned discussion? I myself have no objection to talking about every possible scientific discovery, but this isn't the time for all that. What do you think, ma chère?
They want to show how educated they are. And so they always talk about things we can't understand.
Thank God we've lived our time without being educated. And here we are marrying off our third daughter to an honest man. And if you think we're uneducated, then what do you want to come here for? Go to your educated friends.
Noise. I, Natasha Timofeyevna, have always held your family in respect. And if I did start talking about electric lighting, it doesn't mean that I'm proud. I'll drink to show you. I've always sincerely wished Daria Evakimova a good husband. In these days, Natasha Timofeyevna, it is difficult to find a good husband. Nowadays, everybody is on the lookout for a marriage where there is profit, money. Did you say that's a hint? What is that noise? I wasn't hinting at anything. Present company is always accepted. I was only in general. Please, everybody knows that you're marrying for love. The dowry is quite trifling.
No, it isn't
No, it
trifling.
isn't trifling. You be careful what you say. Besides 1,000 rubles of good money, we're giving 3 dresses, the bed, and all the furniture. You won't find another dowry like that in a hurry.
I didn't mean the furniture's splendid, of course, and the dresses, but I never hinted at what they are getting offended at.
Don't you go making hints. We respect you on account of your parents, and we've invited you to the wedding, and here you go talking. If you knew that Epaminondas Maximovich was marrying for profit, why didn't you say so before? I brought her up, I fed her, I nursed her, I cared for her more than if she was an emerald green, my little girl.
And you go and believe it. Thank you so much. I'm very grateful to you. As for you, Mr. Yax, although you are
There's sound, there's something's going on with the sound. And
It's driving me nuts. All I'm hearing is just like things from the outer limits.
Don't put this on YouTube. The sound is embarrassing. It's awful. It's static all the way through. You can hardly hear anybody.
Oh, there's a noise going through. You hear that?
Who's doing that? What is that? Who is it? Whose sound is putting that through? Does
Can we
anybody know
take a
what's
chance and
going
turn
on?
off our, can we take a chance and mute ourselves? I'll go first.
All right, I'm muting.
Should I continue with my line? Although you are acquainted with me, I shan't allow you to behave like this in another's house. Please get out of this.
Oh, God. What do you mean?
I want you to be as straightforward as I am. In short, please get out.
Is that some 2 gentlemen speaking, or do I just hear that scraping noise?
Leave me alone. Sit down. Is it working?
As he said, if everybody mutes themselves, we can kind of get an idea where it's coming
Ken,
from.
can you mute yourself for a second? Ken,
What?
can you mute yourself for a second, Ken?
I'm at a different point. I have to go back to.
Can you mute?
Can you mute yourself for a second?
Turn your voice off for a second.
No, it's still going on. Still there.
Everybody, each person mute yourself so we can tell.
Eleanor, can you mute yourself for a second? Hello? It was Eleanor's.
Tell Eleanor, it's your
Yeah.
sound.
Yeah, it's definitely Eleanor's. It came back on just now. No, it's back.
No, it kept going. It kept going after when I
Yeah.
retreated.
I
that's
believe
right,
it's
it-
Cynthia.
It's
I mean, because
unbearable.
Cynthia, I would think is someplace where,
No, are you hearing me?
Yeah, it's not you.
No, it's not me because I'm in a very, very quiet place. Yeah, very, very quiet. No sound.
I don't get what's going on. Anyway, so where are we? We'll try to speak with this thing going on there.
Tell us where the page is. Number of the page again?
Top of 58 or bottom of 57?
Yeah, the gentlemen were saying something about leaving him. I asked,
58.
what do you mean? And you said, I want to be straightforward as I am. And sure, please get out.
Got it.
Yeah.
It's really nice dress rehearsal.
Someone keep going.
So whose line is it? What do you mean? Ablamov.
Yeah, I said that. I'm going back. I want you to be as straightforward as I am. In short, please get out.
2 gentlemen.
Leave him alone.
Sit down. Is it worth
Is it
it?
worth it?
Let him be.
Let him be.
Stop it now.
now.
I don't understand. Please, I'll go. Only You first give me the 5 rubles, which you borrowed from me last year on the strength of a peak waistcoat, if I may say so. Then I'll just have another drink and go. Only give me my money first.
Oh, sit down.
Sit down.
That's enough.
That's enough. Is it worth it just for such trifles?
The health of the bride's parents, Iberton Zarkrich and Natasha Timovinya.
The band plays a flourish and there's cheers. Yay!
Yay!
Dear guests, I thank you, dear guests. I am very grateful to you all for not having forgotten and having conferred this honor upon us without being standoffish. And you must not think that I'm a rascal or that I'm trying to swindle anybody. I'm speaking from my heart. From the purity of my soul, I wouldn't deny anything to good people. Oh, we thank you very humbly.
Oh, what is it? I'm so happy.
Mamma is disturbed at your coming separation, but I should advise her rather to remember the last talk we had.
Oh, don't cry, Natasha Timovinya. Just think, what are human tears anyway? Just petty psychiatry and nothing more.
And are there any red-haired men in Greece?
Yes, everything is here.
Ah, but you don't have all kinds of mushrooms.
Yes, we've got them and everything.
It's your turn to speak, ladies and gentlemen. A speech. Halalampi.
Speech, your turn.
Speech, your turn.
Speech.
Speech.
Why? I don't understand. What is it?
No. You can't refuse. It's your turn. Get up.
I can't say what. There's Russia and there's Greece. There's people in Russia and people in Greece. And there's people swimming the sea in caravs, which means ships. And people on the land in railway trains. I understand. We are Greeks and you are Russians. And I want nothing. I can tell you there's Russia and there's Greece.
Wait, ladies and gentlemen, don't eat now. Wait, just 1 minute. Natasha Timofeyevna, just come here if you don't mind. Listen, the general's coming. I found one at last. I'm simply worn out. A real general, a solid one. Old, you know, age, perhaps 80 or even 90.
When is he coming?
This minute, you'll be grateful to me all your life.
You're not deceiving me, are you?
Well, now, am I a swindler? You needn't worry.
Well, one doesn't like to spend money for nothing, Andrei, darling.
Don't you worry. He's not a general. He's a dream. I said to him, you've quite forgotten us, Your Excellency. It isn't kind of Your Excellency to forget your old friends. Natasha Timofeyevna, I said to him, she's very annoyed with you about it. And he says to me, but my friend, how can I go when I don't know the bridegroom? Oh, nonsense. Your Excellency, why stand on ceremony? The bridegroom, I said to him, he's a fine fellow, very free and easy. He's a valuer, I said, at the law courts. And don't you think, Your Excellency, that he's some rascal, some knave of hearts? Nowadays, I said to him, even decent women are employed at the law courts. He slapped me on the shoulder. We smoked a Havana cigar and now he's coming. Wait a little, ladies and gentlemen, don't eat.
When's he coming?
This minute. When I left him, he was already putting on his galoshes. Wait a little, ladies and gentlemen, don't eat yet.
The band should be told to play a march.
Musicians, a march.
Mr. Ravuvnov Kalulov.
Please come in. Your Excellency, so glad you've come.
Awfully.
We, Your Excellency, aren't celebrities. We aren't important, but quite ordinary. But don't think on that account that there's any fraud. We put good people into the best place. We begrudge nothing. Please.
Awfully glad.
Let me introduce to you, Your Excellency, the bridegroom, Ipamanan Maximovich Aplomov, with his his newly married wife, Ivan Mihailovich Yats, employed on the telegraph, a foreigner of Greek nationality, a confectioner by trade, Halampi Spiridonovich Dumba, Osip Lukich Babelmadensky, and so on and so on. The rest are just trash. Sit down, Your Excellency.
Awfully. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to say 2 words to Audrey. I say, old man, I'm a little put out. Why do you call me Your Excellency? I'm not a general. I don't rank as the equivalent of a colonel, even.
I know, only Fyodor Rakovlevich. Be a good man and let us call you Your Excellency. The family here, you see, is patriarchal. It respects the aged. It likes rank.
Oh, if it's like that, very well. Awfully.
Sit down, Your Excellency. Be so good as to have some of this, Your Excellency. Only forgive us for not being used to etiquette. We're plain people.
What? Yes. Yes. In the old days, everybody used to live simply and was happy. In spite of my rank, I am a man who lives plainly. Today, Andre comes to me and asks me to come here to the wedding. How shall I go? I said. Why don't I know them? It's not good manners. But he says, they are good, simple, patriarchal people glad to see anybody. Well, if that's the case, why not? Very glad to come. It's very dull for me at home by myself, and my presence at a wedding can make anybody happy. Then I'm delighted to be here.
Then that's sincere, is it, Your Excellency? I respect that. I am a plain man myself, without any deception, and I respect others who like that. Eat, Your Excellency.
Is it long since you retired, Your Excellency?
Yes. Quite true. Yes. But excuse me, what is this? The fish is sour, and the bread is sour. I can't eat this. Your health. Yes, in the old days, everything was simple and everybody was glad. I love simplicity. I am an old man. I retired in 1865. I'm 72. Yes, of course. In my younger days, it was different. But you there, a sailor, are you?
Yes, just so.
Uh-huh. So, yes. The Navy means hard work. There's a lot to think about and get a headache over. Every insignificant word has, so to speak, its special meaning. For instance, hoist her top sheets and mansail. What's it mean? A sailor can tell. With almost mathematical precision.
The health of His Excellency Fyodor Yakovlevich Ravunov Korolov.
You, Your Excellency, have just expressed yourself on the subject of the hard work involved in a naval career. But is telegraphy any easier? Nowadays, Your Excellency, nobody is appointed to the telegraphs if he cannot read and write French and German. But the transmission of telegraphs is the most difficult thing of all. awfully difficult. Now, just listen.
What does that mean?
It means I honor you, Your Excellency, for your virtues. You think it's easy? Listen now.
Lavender, I can't hear.
That means, madam, how happy I am to hold you in my embraces.
What, madam, are you talking about? Yes, yes. If there's a headwind, you must, let's see, you must hoist your foretop halyards and topsail halyards. The order is, on the cross trees to the foretop halyards and topsail halyards. And at the same time, as the sails get loose, you take hold underneath of the foresail and foretopsail halyards, stays and braces.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, there are a great many orders to give. Furl the foretopsail and the foretop gallant sail. What?
Well, what does that mean? What does that mean?
It's very simple. It means that if the top and topgallant sails are lifting the halyards, they must level the foretop and foretopgallant halyards on the hoist, and at the same time, the top galliard braces, as needed, are loosened according to the direction of the wind.
Fyodor Rakovlovich, Mademoiselle Zhigolov asked you to talk about something else. It's very dull for the guests who can't understand.
What? Who's dull? Young man, now suppose the ship is lying by the wind on the starboard tack under full sail, and you've got to bring her before the wind. What's the order? Well, first you whistle up above.
Fyodor Rakovlovich, that's enough. Eat something.
As soon as the men are on deck, you give the order. To your places. What a life. You give orders, and at the same time, you've got to keep your eye on the sailors who run about the flashes of lightning and get the sails and braces right. And at last, you can't restrain yourself, and you shout, "Good children!"
On this occasion, so to speak, on the day in which we have met together to honor our dear,
Yes, yes, you've got to remember all that. For instance, hoist the topsail halyards, lower the topsail gallants.
Why does he keep going on interrupting? We can't get through a single speech like that.
We are dull people, Your Excellency, and don't understand a word of all that. But if you were to tell us something appropriate.
I've already had supper, thank you. Did you say there was goose? Thanks. Yes, I've remembered the old days. It's pleasant, young man. You sail on the sea. You have no worries. Do you remember the joy of tacking? Is there a sailor who doesn't glow at the memory of that maneuver? As soon as the word is given and the whistle blown and the crew begins to go up, it's as if an electric spark has run through them all. From the captain to the cabin boy, everybody's excited.
How dull, how dull.
Thank you. I've had supper. Everybody's ready and looks to the senior officer. He gives the command. Stand by, gallants and stoptail braces on the starboard side. main and counter braces to port. Everything's done in a twinkling. Top sheets and jib sheets are pulled, taken to starboard. The ship takes the wind, and at last the sails fill out. The senior officer orders, to the braces, and himself keeps his eye on the mainsail. And when at last the sail is filling out and the ship begins to turn, he yells at the top of his voice, "Let go the braces, loose the main halyards." Everything flies about. There's a general confusion for a moment, and everything is done without an error. The ship has been tacked.
General, your manners. You ought to be ashamed of yourself at your age.
Did you say sausage? I haven't had any. Thank you.
I say you ought to be ashamed of yourself at your age. General, your manners are awful.
Ladies and gentlemen, is it worth it, really?
In the first place, I am not a general, but a second-class naval captain, which, according to the table of precedence, corresponds to a lieutenant colonel.
If you're not a general, then what did you go and take our money for? We never paid you money to behave like that.
What money?
You know what money. You know that you got 25 rubles from Andrei Andreevich. And you look out, Andrei. I never asked you to hire a man like that.
There now, let it drop. Is it worth it?
Paid? Hired? What is it?
Just let me ask you this. Did you receive 25 rubles from Andrei Andreevich?
What 25 rubles? That's what it is. Now I understand it all. How mean. How mean.
Did you take the money?
I haven't taken any money. Get away from me. How mean. How low. To insult an old man, a sailor, an officer who have served long and faithfully. If you were decent people, I could call somebody out. But what can I do now? Where's the door? Which way do I go? Waiter, show me the way out. Waiter! How mean. How low.
Andrei, where are those 25 rubles?
Is it worthwhile bothering about such trifles? What does it matter? Everybody's happy here, and here you go. The health of the bride and groom. A march, a march. The health of the bride and bridegroom.
I'm suffocating in the atmosphere. I'm suffocating with all you around me.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
Ladies and gentlemen, on this occasion, if I may say so, curtain.
That's all right. I lost my place, so I'm glad you took the last line. Thank you. Well, we missed that one, but that's
That was fun.
Okay.
Farewell.
We got through the wedding again.
Yep.
the proposal's a lot of fun.
Is anybody seasick after all that? Anybody hungry after all that?
Yeah.
But little wedding after all that.
I think that play is enough to put you off weddings.
You love the line, push back.
Who's hosting? Oh, there's Paul. Hi, Paul.
Hey, thank
So
you
where-
all very
oh.
much. That is a fun play. It's like, yes, the wedding that goes wrong, you know. But that was a lot of fun. Yeah, it's interesting in those short plays that we've got by Chekhov. There's the proposal, the wedding, and the anniversary. But the anniversary isn't about a wedding anniversary; it's about a work anniversary, actually. But anyway, so yeah, thank you. That was fun. And really, it's yeah, I love Chekhov. So does anybody have anything else they want to do or share or something? Or
I'm done.
okay.
I love
All right,
it.
Ken, was there something else you wanted to do? You said you'd mentioned doing something later. Are you there? Or?
There's monologue I wanted to do from the Seagull, if you'll just give me a moment.
Sure thing. Okay, and Cynthia, you've got to go. I saw your chat. So thank you. Thanks so much for joining us, and looking forward to next Thursday with the Thursday at 7:30 when we'll be doing the Othello. So.
Well, thank you very much, Paul. And it was wonderful working with everybody. Have a nice rest of your evening.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Cynthia.
you. Take
Bye.
care.
Cheers.
Bye.
Hi, Cynthia. I think Michael and I had trouble with that Z. He took some of my lines, I took some of his.
We were on different pages. You were on 54. I was on 53. I don't know what happened.
Anyway, I got confused with all the Z words. You were one Z and I was another Z.
Oh,
But my ended up with a feminine, which is why I knew it was me. Her last name has a feminine, like
Right.
an N-A or something, right?
right. That's
And
how.
you know
Yeah.
that's a girl. Right.
Natasha Timovenya.
Yeah, right.
Right. Revunyov.
Right. Yes.
Zhigolov. Oblomov. Yeah.
Right. Right. So that's where you can tell sometimes when they're so close to each other with the Zigalov was you and mine was where was I? I'll find it.
What's her name? Who says how dull? How dull? What's her name? How
What did you say?
dull? How dull?
I'm trying to
Or the
find
ending
it.
when she says, "I love that line." How dull? How dull? Natasha Timovenya, and then there's who's the other one? There's not many women in this. There's only two women in this, right?
Because the so-called general, the captain, is talking in naval speak, which nobody can understand.
What's her name? Zemyukina.
Mine is Imeyukina, and that ends with K-I-N-A. So that's how I could tell. After a while, I realized that if I had just watched for the N's, the N-A's there, you know that's a woman. You can tell that's a woman. But he ends up with Zigalov with an L-O-V. So I kept getting confused because I kept seeing the Z's as we were going along. With all that noise, it was impossible to come.
I know. I still can't figure out. Now it's stopped.
What? Yeah, what was that noise? Who has that noise in their speaker?
I don't know. It's stopped now, though. So
I know, it's horrible.
whatever. Well, we'll have to do something. Hopefully, it'll be okay on Thursday. So everybody's got their side. Well, Jackie, you're the only one here is from Othello now, right?
I think so.
Ken's not doing the Othello. We've only got
I'm an Othello.
three male parts in the Othello.
If you still need a Bianca, I would.
No,
say-
Derek, we've got Derek, but come watch anyway. Derek is doing it. Derek is doing it. Yes, Jennifer is doing several parts, and it's a good thing. We're doing all reverse, so all the women, lots of women in this. Only 3 guys. I wanted to do that. That's good.
Well, I found my speech. If
Do it. Go for it, bro.
okay, well,
I'll mute. Hold on. Do you want us to all hide ourselves so you can be on camera alone?
no, it's okay. You can be there. I have Trigorin in the Seagull. It's a rather long. It's a rather long speech, collection of longish speeches. So I may cut off early. Okay. Okay, this is from Act 2 of The Seagull. Am I? Here you are talking about fame and fortune and some interesting, brilliant life I'm supposed to be having, but I'm afraid these sweet thoughts mean no more to me than sweet cakes, which I never eat. You're young and you mean well. I don't see what's so specially good about it. I have to go and do some writing now. Excuse me, I haven't the time. You've trodden on my pet corn, you see, and I start getting upset and irritable. All right, let's talk about my wonderful, brilliant life. Well, where should we begin? Well, there are people who develop an obsession with something, say, a man who can think about nothing but the moon, day and night. Well, I have my own moon. Day and night, I'm driven by one constant thought. I must be writing. I must be writing. I've scarcely finished one story before God knows why I have to write another, then a third, and after the third, a fourth. I keep on without a break, like the mail coach changing horses, on, and I can't do anything else. What's so wonderful and brilliant about that? It's a ridiculous life. Here I am with you. I've got myself all worked up, and the whole time I'm thinking there's a story waiting to be finished on my desk. I look up and see there's a cloud shaped like a grand piano. I think I must get that into a story sometime. A cloud floated past like a grand piano. I can smell heliotropes. I make a quick mental note. Sickly sweet scents, color of widow's weeds, mention when describing summer evening. I snap up every word and phrase we utter and hurry off to shut them away in my bottom drawer. When I finish something, I escape to the theater or go fishing. There, you'd think I'd be allowed to relax, lose myself, but no. Something is already moving in my brain like a heavy iron.
Ken, we lost you. Ken.
There, I'm gathering up the pollen from my best flowers, breaking off the flowers themselves, trampling on their roots. I could be a madman. Are my friends and acquaintances actually treating me as if I'm sane? What are you working on? When are you going to give us your next? Over and over, it never stops. And I sometimes think all this fascination, this admiration and congratulation, it's all an act. They're humoring me like an invalid and getting ready to creep up behind me and pounce on me and carry me off to the madhouse like in Gogol. Back in the days when I was starting out, the years of one's youth, the best years, it was continuous torture. A young writer, especially if he isn't having much luck, feels awkward and not for anything. He's on edge, his nerves are a wreck, he can't stop himself hanging around the literary crowd, unknown and ignored, afraid to look people in the eye, like a compulsive gambler with nothing to bet with. I never met my readers, but for some reason I always imagined them to be skeptical, hostile. I was afraid of the public. The thought of them terrified me. When I came to have a play put on, I'd look at the audience and decide that everyone with dark hair had made up their minds to hate it, and everyone with fair hair wasn't interested enough to care either way. Oh, it was a nightmare, sheer torture. Oh yes, I love writing. Writing is very enjoyable. Correcting proofs is very nice too, but then it's got to be published. The moment the thing is off the press, I can't stand it. It's already no good, a mistake, ought never to have been written in the first place. And I feel tetchy and worthless. And people read it and say, oh yes, a very pretty talent, quite charming, but not a patch on Tolstoy. Or not bad at all, but Fathers and Sons is better. And it will go on like this till I die. I'll never be anything more than charming and talented. And when I'm dead, it'll say in my gravestone, here lies Trigorin. He was good, but not as good as Turgenev. What success are you referring to? I've never felt I've succeeded. I don't like myself as a writer. The worst of it is I often write in a kind of fog and don't understand what I'm writing about. I love this stretch of water here, the trees, the sky. I have a feeling for nature. It excites a passion in me, that irresistible desire to write. But when all's said and done, I'm not just here to do landscapes, I'm a citizen. I love Russia and its people, and I feel that if I'm a writer, it's up to me to speak out about people's struggles, their fates, and to have something to say about science and the rights of man and so on and so on. So I speak out about everything. I rush around, urged on from every side, people getting cross with me. I dash this way and that like a fox with the hounds on its trail. Ahead of me, I can see science and the rights of man leaving me behind as I chase after them like some yokel missing a train. And in the end, I feel that landscape is the only thing I know how to write. And in everything else, I'm a fake to the marrow of my bones. And that's it.
That was a nice reading, Ken.
Thank you.
And while listening to it, I had some insight as to why Tolstoy called this a bad play. Chekhov was asking for it. I listened to this for the first time, hearing him talk about Tolstoy. This is amazing because, wow, yeah, that's very interesting. This is the play that Tolstoy said was a poor play. And it put Chekhov into a depression.
I'll never forget the first time I saw this, which was the version set in modern times, which then was 1990, the Seagull 1990. And at the end, he says, he was good, but not as good as Norman Mailer.
Wait, who says that? Wait.
The actor I saw play it, I wish I could remember his name. It was in a little loft in the village, and I remember the lady doing the lead was the film star Carol Lynley.
Oh, yes.
And the young girl, Nina, was very young Laura Linney.
Oh, yeah. I bet that was good. You don't remember the guy who was Trigorin?
No, Treplev also a movie.
I mean, Treplev.
Yeah, Treplev was a movie actor named D.B. Sweeney.
So it's when he's doing the monologue about Trigorin that he says that. They changed it to. Yeah, I've done that scene. Austin.
Yeah, thank you. That was fun. I think Tolstoy didn't think much of any other writers but himself, I believe.
I thought it was basically this play that he said he didn't like.
No, well, he said like Shakespeare's bad, but Chekhov's even worse. So,
he said that?
Yeah, he did not like Shakespeare either. So I mean, I think he just was, I'm great, just read me.
Or in peace.
Yeah. But that's great. So thank you. Thank you all. I see we got a few attendees. See one that's Larry and it says 2 attendees, but I only see 1 listed. If any of you want to participate, have some Chekhov to share, just like raise your hand and I can promote you to panelists. Is there any other Chekhov that anybody wants to share?
I just wanted to ask, I'm pretty sure my sound went off at one point.
Yeah, it did. It did. I tried to let you know. Yeah.
Yeah, I was aware of that, but I thought I should just keep going anyway.
Paul, you're out on your rounds.
Yes, yes, delivering the mail. It's a Saturday, but there's still lots of mail to deliver. So yeah, so I actually had some things, but they're at my car, so I can't really do them now. But this is fun.
Yeah.
I do intend to schedule more more Chekhov readings. I mean, doing the major plays at some time during the year, since I do have public domain editions of all of them. They're maybe not the greatest translations, but they're free. So we have those, and I mean, yeah, there's also, I mean, these short plays that of course, the Proposal's a very fun one. I didn't sort of suggest doing that because it's really just for 3 people, and it's a fairly long play, but it's a lot of fun.
Oh, it's hilarious.
And the tragedian, in spite of himself as well. There's some fun things in that short plays collection.
I love the Proposal.
Yeah.
Linda did the marriage proposal in graduate school.
Cool. Okay, well, I guess those attendees just left who were there, so.
Looks like.
So do you guys want to do a reading of the proposal, or?
I've done the reading of the proposal before. I have a question.
Yeah.
When I did the reading of that, and then I saw Alex's reading of it, I interpreted his I'm sick, I'm sick, I'm sick as him really being sick. But when I saw Alex do it, he did it as he was imitating the guy. And I don't know which is right, because then I went back and read it again and I still felt like, no, he's really sick, because that's why he gets lost in his own thoughts. That's all.
Well, I mean, that's a very interesting thing. And that's a great thing about plays. I mean, actors can, and I think that's one of the reasons why, I mean, like, that people really love Shakespeare and Chekhov and the French neoclassical writers, who are very sort of much more rigid in terms of the characters and don't offer that same opportunity of choices. I think they're of less interest to people.
I may actually try it with that choice and just see where I go with it, because it could be that, no, it doesn't make sense. So, because he says, I'm going to kill myself, I'm going to kill myself, I'm going to kill myself. You think he's imitating him, but he's really saying it alone too. So,
yeah, no, it is an interesting, there's always opportunities for different things, different translations that bring out different versions of it. I mean, I think there was Helen Hayes did something called I believe there was Wisteria Trees or something, which was sort of an adaptation of the Cherry Orchard to America, sort of set in the South, because there's a lot of analogous things in terms of, I just did come across a speech from Trofimov in Cherry Orchard, where he talks about the fact that it's like, everybody has to work and suffer because you guys have taken it. You had slaves for a long time. And I mean, serfs in Russia were like slaves we had in this country. And I think there's still a lot of Chekhov that speaks to the fact that we still don't have racial justice in this country.
Yeah, Chekhov was much more, I don't know Tolstoy's writing, so I guess I didn't speak, but Chekhov was definitely a harbinger writing about what was going to happen, which was that the peasants were going to finally revolt. He knew that somehow because he was writing plays that it was attacking the aristocracy a lot, and it was a lot about real estate too, you know. Cherry Orchard, Three Sisters. And I think he knew that, and he was making fun of the rich and powerful, the idle talk, and you know how they just sat around and drank and ate the best foods and complained and talked about each other. And yeah, that's probably, maybe, was Tolstoy more of a capitalist? I don't know. Was he more of the aristocracy?
He was a count. You know, so he was in the aristocracy. So I think politically he was much more conservative. You know,
yeah, he probably felt threatened by Chekhov.
Yeah,
his insight.
I don't know. I'm no expert on
human behavior. But Chekhov was like a Shakespeare because he was really good at human, you know what I mean? He knew the subtext of human behavior.
Mhm.
And he didn't say it. Shakespeare says it. Shakespeare's characters they tell you their subtext most of the time. Not all.
Chekhov, you have to read between the lines.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, that was also the difference. I mean, in Shakespeare is that in Chekhov there is a lot of subtext,
Right.
and in Shakespeare it's in the text.
Right. They tell you.
Yeah. But still, even with that, there is a lot that's open to interpretation and different ways that you can play all of the characters, which I think is part of why they continue to have appeal.
You have to know the life, and like Stella Adler says, you have to know the life of the people who the characters, and you also have to consider the playwright, because the playwright was writing out of that time that they were living. And you know, and where they were living. So that's also, Stella Adler. She knew that.
All right. So no, it's there's so much I don't know what I mean, but the thing is also is that I think Chekhov in some ways he gets revered too much and people don't appreciate how funny he is. I mean, like I think with The Wedding, I mean, a lot of his short plays, they're very comic and very funny. And a few years ago, there was a production at the Roundabout of The Cherry Orchard with Diane Lane as Luba, John Glover as Gaev, and and Joel Grey as Fears.
Oh, you lucky stiff.
The translation was by the guy who'd done The Humans, and I saw it and I thought it was a terrific production and very funny.
I bet.
But it did not get good reviews because people are like, you shouldn't have so much fun with Chekhov.
No, with John Glover in it?
Oh yeah, God. John Glover as Gaev was delightful.
Did you see his Pandarus in the park?
Yes, I did. Yeah, no, he's a lot of fun. But that was and also the and it was great because they had like an interracial cast. They had Chuck Cooper as Semyonov Piszczek, and for Lopakin, it was really terrific actor who was the Mercutio in the Baz Luhrmann Romeo and Juliet, who was so good, and it made it really, I felt that kind of casting made a lot of sense for the play. But yeah, and of course he's been a big inspiration for other writers. I mean, probably one of the biggest recent successes of that was Vanya and Masha and Sonia and Spike, you know, the Christopher Durang play that I believe won the Tony a few years ago. So, all right. I guess Jennifer's saying she has to go. So I guess, we've been here for an hour and a half. I guess we could just wrap this up unless anybody's got anything else to say.
I don't have any short stories. No.
Okay. See you all soon. Thank you. It was fun.
Okay. Yes. Thank you all very much.
It's a bit of a mess, but it was fun. Right. Okay.
All righty. Take care. And our next thing is, actually tomorrow we have a reading that David Cedar's doing of Fogarty's Ferry, which should be a lot of fun. And then next Thursday we have our cross-gendered Othello. So, and more to come as people want to put them together.
All right. Till then.
All right.
Good night.
Everyone take care and be well.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Okay.